What's going on?
Welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me come up.
Absolutely. So I just want to tell you guys, this is Dontae.
Yes.
He is the founder of Wisehustlers. So I met him about 2 weeks ago at a Melanated Mongo event, and I was like, what is this? What do you have here? And he just broke it down for me. Let me know what he does. He was very convicted. I said, yes, I need to know more about who he is and what he does. And so he told me a little bit about Wisehustlers. So can you tell us about Wisehustlers?
Wisehustlers. The wiser you are, the better you become. And it's a clothing line. Well, it's more than a clothing line. To me, it's more of a lifestyle on how you carry yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's going on 3 years now. And that itself is dope.
Yes, absolutely.
That itself is dope. Just the fact that it's going on 3 years. And it's like, I mean, because I remember I started making paid in full shirts. Okay. Then after the paid in full shirts, I had started with the Wisehustler Verified. And I got 12 of those hoodies. Sold about 10 of them. It was challenging. I was selling for 40. People was, showing me love, boom. But I gave away like 2 of them. Then after that, I got 24 shirts. And then, I kept doubling. But the whole concept behind the brand is basically about being wise about your hustle and being smart and intelligent about what you do and thinking before you move. And as time goes on, I'm still like adding bits and pieces to the brand. But as of right now, it's all about thinking before you move and being wise about what you do.
Got it. So on the back of one of your T-shirts, it says, "What is it? We don't give discount. Don't ask for discounts." Right. So I thought that was like, you know what? Yeah. A lot of times, and we hate to say this, but especially when it comes to black business, we're like, well, can I get a discount on that?
Exactly.
So tell us about that.
Don't ask for discounts. That's my most recent design.
Okay.
And the reason I did it because the way I design now, I like to make things conscious. I like to make things conscious. So things that you think about in your mind, I want to put it on the shirt to make it like so you see it again. Mm-hmm. And don't ask for discounts. That was something I was going through because people that say they support you and be the closest people around you, they'd be like, "Yo, bro, can I get a discount?" Right. And it's like, I'm trying to grow. You understand? And like I was saying to you before, they're not investing in our community. So as a community, we're suffering because they're putting all their money in other communities. And they did a study, and he said, let me ask you a question. How many times do you think the money circulate in the black community? Like, from my hand to your hand, how many times do you think it passed through?
I don't know. I want to come like a random number, but I wouldn't think it's that much because even in our community, a lot of the people or stewards that are in our community, they're not even black.
Exactly.
So I would think that number is really low.
And it wasn't even like a day. It was less than a day. I think it was like 6-7 hours. That it goes from me to you.
And it's gone.
And it's to another community. It goes right out to another community. So the money doesn't stay in our community long. It stays in our community for about 6-7 hours. Then it's gone.
Wow.
And like the Jewish community and the Asian community, it's a couple days. Because they're going to Asian stores to get this, and we don't really have a black supermarket or black this or black that. Everything is other communities.
It's funny that she said that because I was just talking to my uncle yesterday, and I was saying when I was growing up in this same neighborhood, this neighborhood was called The Bottom. I don't know if you know about West Philly, The Bottom, right? Bottom, yeah. And it was on Lancaster Ave. You had places that you could go. It was Uncle, I forget his name, but he had a shoe shop on the, and you knew who was. Grandma, look, go to Uncle, what's his name? Go get your shoes. You know what I mean? Yeah. That it was a community. Exactly. You knew who was who. You could go to a black-owned business and you would support them because you knew them. Right, and that's gone.
I know, and that's what I'm trying to make conscious now. And within my brand, I'm also trying to teach financial education and financial literacy because recently, I don't know if I told you, but I recently got a position for a financial coach job.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And that itself is a blessing because that's like my first job on papers ever. So it's like the first job you ever get is a financial coach.
I'm out the bag. Okay, cool.
And then it's basically I got it through a nonprofit. And shout out to Jim because Jim is who helped me got it. And I met Jim through his sister, and I met his sister through a fashion show. And the reason I met his sister is because she was like, hey, can you put your cups down the runway with your clothes? And I just met her same day. I'm like, all right, cool.
We can do that.
And then from that, he seen me look out for hustle. He looked out for me. And next thing you know, I'm a financial coach for the nonprofit. And this Friday is going to be because what the whole thing is, they teach you. They pay you to teach. They pay you to learn. And they pay you to teach it to, like, work-ready students.
Awesome. So
now, this Friday is my first time going to, like, teach the kids, like, financial education. So I'm going to see how that goes. And that's what I want to teach. I want to teach that within fashion. So on the back of his shirt, it might tell you something about credit or mortgages or, you know what I mean?
Awesome. So what made you decide, okay, this is the direction I want to go on. This is the path that I choose. And kind of like, where did that come from? What were you doing before, and how did you decide to do this now?
Honestly, it's like I did like a lot of different things because when I grew up, I never really played sports. Okay. Like, and my father, he came here through track. My parents are Jamaican. Okay. And the reason he came here is because of track. So he wanted me to get into track because he knew I had potential. But the way I looked at sports is like, if I don't want to do this for my career, why invest all this time? Right. Because there's people that play basketball their whole lives, and then they come out and don't play basketball. Right. So it's like, if you was to do something else with your time, you could have been a millionaire. Right. So I'm not really playing sports, and it's like, I'm just really trying to find myself. You know, skateboard. I did everything, rip sticks. Right. And I was always like a hustler, like, you know, shovel snow, cut grass. And I was always like, whatever you need, I probably can help you, or I know somebody that can get it for you. Right. So I wanted to create my own business, and I was always into fashion. You know, because my father always had me fly. I always had Nikes and Polo. Like, me, I always wore Nike and Polo. Right. But outside of Nike and Polo, I wanted another brand to wear, so I started to like H&M, Urban Outfitters, but ain't nothing really stand out to me. It was like, that's me. Right. You know? Right. So I ain't never really like fully like appreciate it because it wasn't like.
It wasn't you.
Yeah. Okay. It was like something I'm really not. So I started to make, like I said, the paid in full shirts, and it was dope. Like this whole thing is dope because I bought a heat press and a vinyl cutter. Okay. Started to make the paid in full shirts.
So you did all this yourself. Like, it wasn't like you paid somebody and talked to somebody. You were like, no, this is my vision. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy the materials and I'm going to get it done myself. Yeah.
But it's funny. It's funny how everything turned out because I bought the heat press and I bought the vinyl cutter. Started making the paid in full shirts. Then I realized, like, people started like, hey, we get that shirt for me. And I'm like, okay. I see a market for it. Right. So I came up with my own name, Wisehustlers, and it stemmed from me because one day I'm just sitting in my room literally. I'm trying to think of a name. I'm like, I'm smart. Okay. So I Googled synonyms for smart. Wise came up. I'm like, okay, I'm a hustler. Wise Hustlers. Then I Googled Wise Hustlers to see if it's clean. Right. And it was clean. Make sure everything was good. Right. And then I ran Wise Hustlers. Then it's funny because, like I said, out the door I bought the heat press and the vinyl cutter. Mm-hmm. But then I realized, I was like, wait, I don't want to make it myself. Right. So I bought the heat press and the vinyl cutter. Then I ended up outsourcing it to a screen printer. And what I did was, I literally typed in Philadelphia screen printers. Mm-hmm. The list popped up. I wrote all of them down. Called every one of them. Oh, he didn't pick up. Crossed them out the list. Oh, he picked up. What's your minimum? So I narrowed it down to like 3. Found a screen printer. And me and him started to build. But as time went on, I started to understand like the pros and the cons of it. Like, for example, it'd be like, I pay him and I don't have to make it. Mm-hmm. But I'm on his time. Right. So he might not have it ready for me. Mm-hmm. Or this might go left. But I started to build and I was showing him love. Like I said, 12 hoodies, 24 shirts. Let me get another 24. Then 50. Let me get this. So I went from the screen. I went from the heat press and the vinyl to saying, I don't want to do that. I literally like put it away for like a year, 2 years. I recently just got it up. Okay. Put it away. And I was doing this. I was working with him, starting to grow that. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, I was like, he only can do a certain amount. He only can do screen print. And I was like, I want some sweatsuits. Okay. So recently, like, I started to look at manufacturers, and I started to, like, educate myself on manufacturers, because ain't nobody tell me about a manufacturer.
Right. You had to kind of figure it out.
I had to figure it out myself. Right. So, like, I'm going on Alibaba, talking to Chinese manufacturers and everything like that. And then I had talked to this Chinese manufacturer. And I got a sweatsuit from over there. I got a sweatsuit sample. She charged $150. I'm like, dang. Because I know. But the sweatsuit came back, and it was like the dopest sweatsuit ever. But we never went into business because she wasn't trying to tell me all of the prices. Like, she'd tell me, oh, the sweatsuit costs this. And I'm like, how much is the shipping?
Right.
And she was like, I'll be able to tell you the shipping after your order is done.
She was playing games.
Yeah, she was trying to get me because say the order done, and she like, oh, the shipping $1,000.
Yeah, right.
So I ended up not working with China, and I went to Pakistan. I didn't go there, but I started working over there. Right. Found a couple manufacturers, and it was funny because I had 3 of them. Right, one of them quality on the beam, like best quality ever.
Right.
But the price wasn't in my budget. Right. And the other 2. One of them had good communication, but his quality wasn't that good as the other one. Right. But the other one, he ain't had the best communication, but his quality was better. And I had to learn how to cope with that because you're sending your money to somebody you don't know, and it's like
and they're not getting back at you.
Exactly. Like sometimes he'll message me back a week later. I'm sorry, I was out of town, and it's like, bro, I didn't send you my bread. Like,
I need my product.
Exactly. Right. So I got some sweatsuits from over there, and that was dope because it's like I did all of this by myself. Like I learned.
Right.
And then I started selling the sweatsuits, and then recently, so I go from heat press and vinyl to not wanting to do that myself, then going to a screen printer, then moving up to a manufacturer. Now I'm back at the heat press and vinyl to do it myself. Because when you're talking to the manufacturer, what I realize is that it's a lot of information that I don't know. So it's a lot of ways that they can like finesse me and cut corners. Exactly. Because now I'm trying to educate myself on how to make pieces myself. And once I understand how to make pieces myself, I'll be able to say, hey, I want this, this, and this. But before, it was just like, hey, I want a sweatsuit.
Whatever you say, and I'm trusting what you say.
Right. And you might cut corners on this, like a zip. You know what I'm saying? The zippers might be a little bit cheaper. Right. So now I'm trying to educate myself on making everything myself. So when I go back to the manufacturers, like,
you'll know what.
Exactly. Right. This is the fabric I want. I want it washed like this. Right. Packaged like this. Right. So it's funny. So I went from heat pressing vinyl to not want to do that myself to getting somebody to do it to a manufacturer to back doing it myself.
So did you find that there were any obstacles? Like, so, I mean, obviously the knowledge, not knowing certain things it could have been, I guess, an obstacle, but it was something that you were able to work through. But in terms of like actual selling, as you said that you went from like 12 to 24, like you were just like, what was your method? Were they like out of the gate, were you like, oh, I'm selling it, I'm doing good, or were there obstacles there?
Like I started 2-3 years ago, and I was in high school. So it was I had the high school. Right. I had the high school in my audience.
Classmates, right?
Yeah. So I come to school, locker full of clothes, like taking orders. Oh, you want yours tomorrow? I'll meet you tomorrow.
I got you. Let's do it.
And it got to the point where every day, because mind you, every day I'm wearing it. Every day. Right. No days off.
Got it.
And it got to the point where like 11th, 12th grade, like 12th grade was serious. Like 12th grade, at least 2, 3, 4 people wearing it every day faithfully. Wow. Like every day you're going to see this walking around somewhere.
Nice.
So high school was my biggest audience, and the obstacles was just basically like, for one, I realized that I'm like, all right, I'm selling to high school people, I'm selling to this audience, and it's like I had to keep on making new pieces because I can't keep selling the same shirts to the same audience, and I had to really understand how to sell. Because people don't understand that it's a method to selling and it's a method to closing. How are you doing anything you like? You know what I mean? It's a whole method behind that. Right. So, but one of the biggest obstacles I had was with the manufacturer because I'm getting samples. And samples cost more because bulk is always cheaper. Because you can think about it like a yard might cost $100. So they got to pay $100 for the yard, but they only using this much.
Right. And if you got to pay for the whole yard.
And if they're not using this much, it's going to be wasted. Right. So that's why they got up the price. So I'm paying sweatsuits for $150.
Right.
And I remember one time I got a sweatsuit from Pakistan, and it couldn't even fit me. It fit my pop. So now I'm back at the drawing board, like, all right, I'm out like a bean, bean 50.
Wow.
And I'm trying to get the sweatsuits because I wanted the sweatsuits to drop for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And now I'm talking to China manufacturers in Christmas. This last 2017, so around December 2017, manufactured. And then I ended up dropping them like February, March. Because what you gotta understand is...
So you had a delay of like three or more months.
Yeah, but I wasn't mad at that because it was the process.
Okay.
Because I went from China like, I'm about to work over here in China. They're like, y'all just turned me up. I'm going to go to Pakistan. Right. But the thing was, the biggest obstacle was that, like, so the sweatsuit came back, couldn't fit me. And it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for it to drop, to come to you. So that's basically a month.
Right.
So now I'm like, dang, what I'm going to do?
Right.
Because I can't put out the full order because y'all don't got the size right.
Exactly.
So now I got to get another sweatsuit to make sure the size right. So now I got to put out that to make sure the size right with another 2 to 3 weeks for it to come back. And then if that size not right, we got to figure something out.
Right. Now we back.
Because now I'm losing time and money. Right. And then they finally got the size right, but it was still risky because it's like, y'all still can mess it up. Like,
right.
So that was my biggest obstacle, and that's another reason why I like making it myself because
you know what
you save money.
Yeah, and you save
money. Like I'm
in time.
Yes, right. Like I'm literally putting out $200 for this sample, $200 for that sample, just to like this is the sample right here.
Right. Okay.
I ain't never put it out.
Right,
I just this dude. Let me get that.
Right.
And that was the crazy obstacle, and I'm going it through by myself. Like it ain't like I got a team of people. Like all right, this was the it's me.
Right.
Like it's just me. And other obstacles was like just having faith in myself. Mm-hmm. And the biggest thing that kept me going was the opportunities. And I call opportunities plays. So I say play after play. Like this is our play. Because I met you here and now we here. And it's just like the reason I'm so motivated is because I keep seeing opportunity after opportunity. So like doors keep opening. And it's like I can see the light.
Interesting.
I can see the light.
So I completed a program called Personal Power Principles,
yes.
Right? And this is by Lee Jenkins.
Yes.
And one of the things that we talk about is paradigms. Yes. So paradigms are the things that are in your environment. So it could be in your family. Yes. It could be in your school, just things that you see in your everyday life that impact how you think and the things that you do. So could you tell me anything about some of those paradigms? Because what you're talking about, that motivation, you have that mindset, like, where did that come from? Was that just how you were brought up? Or did something happen where you were like, you know what, I'm going to change everything that I thought about something and I'm going to now do it this way?
It really stemmed from my parents because, like I said, I'm 12 cutting grass. That's why, like, this financial coach job is a big thing for me because I had side hustles up until...
Right.
And then my father, he was a very intelligent man because I'm 12 years old. And the way I get paid, like, make sure you get a check. Mm-hmm. So now I got to get a bank account.
Right.
So I'm 12 with a bank account, but I can't have my own bank account. So my mom name on it.
Right.
And the way it played out, my mama never let me take money out of it. Like, I'm like, Mom, how much in the bank? She'll never tell me.
Right.
So subconsciously, I'm getting all these checks in my bank account, but it's like, I'm not really thinking about it because it's back there.
Right.
So he really showed me that. And the thing about my parents is, like, they're two opposites. Like, my mother, she had me in college. So she dropped out of college and she wanted to be an RN, but she's a CNA. And, like, RN right here is CNA is under. So she make less. So she got to work twice as hard. And it's like she's not motivated by money, but she has less money. You know, she, like, for example, on my birthday, my papa give me bread, and my mama give me a hug, and the kids type time. Mm-hmm. And my father, he's motivated by money because he came up from nothing.
Right.
You know, so it's like I'm seeing both, like, what it's like to have money and make moves and what it's like to not have money. And I was motivated by that because, like, they're not even from here. So for me to just come here and play with life, I can't do that.
Right.
And I just always wanted more. Because, like, since 13, when I started getting my own bread, it was like, because they stopped giving me allowance. And I started to make my own money. I'm like, all right, y'all ain't going to give me no more money. I'll make my own. Right. And I just always wanted more. And I always was around older people. That's why when people say you 18, it's like, it's how? You 18? Like, really?
Wait, you're 18 right now?
I'm 18. I'm turning 19 July 22nd.
Wow.
And a big part of that is because, like, I'm 12. I'm hanging out with people that's 14, 15. So, and it's like, it's so funny because, like, as I see them, they're like, how old are you?
Right.
I'm 13. They like 16, 17. How old are you now? Bro, I'm 14.
Right.
So it's like I'm slowly growing up. Right. And they form my mindset a lot. And they show me a lot of stuff, show me what not to do.
Mm-hmm. What's something that you will not do?
Something I will not do. I will never, let me see, regarding just in general?
Yes, just in general. Like, if you're saying that you were shown what not to do. Yes. So, if you're giving me advice about a business decision or about a choice that I would make in my life, what would you tell me not to do?
Like, one thing I tell you is just listen to your soul and listen. Because oftentimes you'll reach out to advice, but the advice you're receiving, those people aren't where you want to go. So just because they're around you or just because they're your, like, for example, my parents, right now I'm in a situation where it's like they want me to go to, like, I'm in college right now. They want me to go to college and get a job and work for this person, but I'm more about the business because I see the system. And it's like, my mom, like, she'll say, how was the fashion show? Just to say, how your grades in school. So I can see that she don't really, like, she want me to do it, but she's for college more. And what she don't understand, and what my parents don't understand, is that we live in a society where people make $1 million off Instagram.
Right.
So they don't understand that. So one thing I will not do, like, I'll take opinions and, like, okay, that's what she said, but I'll still listen to people who where I want to be. Like, for example, one person I look up to is Grant Cardone. Have you ever heard of him?
No, I haven't.
That's somebody you need to listen to because a lot of things that you think are like social norms, he'll tell you the opposite. Like, he said never buy a house. Like, and he gave you different reasons why. And another thing I'll not do is, like, I was never like the fighter. So I seen people just like, I wasn't engaged in stuff that was unnecessary. Like, I was
Tell me more about that.
Like in Philly, a big problem with Philly is that people beef over nothing.
That's true.
And I always seen the bigger picture. It's like, bro, I'm not about to beef with you over nothing. Because at the end of the day,
because you stepped on my sneaker.
Right, because you stepped on my sneakers and you talking to my girl, or there'd be situations where I look out for somebody and they had burned. Like, I'll give you bread, you don't pay me back. I'm not about to beef over that with you.
Moving forward.
And one thing I learned about that is that when you do something for somebody and they burn you, that's a way of them getting them out your life. So if I give you $100,
I agree,
and you don't give me my $100 back, I just paid $100 to get you out of my life.
Right.
So that's how you gotta look at it. So you always gotta change the way you see things, and I'm big on that.
And that's how you're able to progress and move forward. And
move how I move because I see the bigger picture and I look at things differently. I look at the bright side in every picture. I don't care how dark the situation is. At least this ain't happening.
Right.
And then you smile and keep it pushing.
Right. That's really positive.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else you would like to share for someone who, let's say, they're scared or they're not sure about this path? Like, they're like, I know I want to do something. I don't know exactly what it is yet, but, like, I just want to do it. What can I do? How can I do it?
See who's already doing it. So, for example, I looked up Ralph because all I wore was polos. I'm like, man, how you do it?
Right.
So you look at who's doing what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Look at who's the highest person doing it and learn from them. And also, like, I realized people were just scared to get out their comfort zone, and that like kills me because, like, I'd rather try and fail than not try at all and regret and like, dang, I should have did that. Right. And it's like people think they need all this stuff to start when you just need that grind, that passion, that fuel, like that fire in you. People think they need a heat press, this, let OC, this. Like, no, bro, just get a shirt, put your design on it, and put it out in the world.
So decide what you want to do and execute.
Yeah. And another thing, once you start getting into business, you got to know your numbers. Because that situation happened to me recently. I'm on Instagram, man. It's this page called Ask a Millionaire. and they're like investors, and you know what I mean. I'm in like the Facebook group with them and blah blah blah. So I just X Millionaire Live. I clicked on it, and they're like giving advice to people. So like this is why I believe in God, and like so they like so that person left the conversation, and all right, they put out a number. Now I was the first one to type it. Okay. So next thing you know, I'm on Instagram Live with X Millionaire. And he was like, what question do you have? And I'm like, what advice would you have for me as an upcoming designer? And it was like, how much did you make last year? And I didn't know. So I just threw a number out there. And he's like, how do you live off that? I'm like, well, I'm still with my parents, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, one advice he told me, he was like, look up to people, like work for somebody that's already doing it, which I already knew. But once I got off the call, I'm like, yo, I made way more than that. Right. And that made me like, realize that I really need to know my numbers, because if I knew my numbers,
you would know which
exactly, and you never know who you might run into. You might say, "Hey, I want to invest in you. What's your numbers?" Right. But I don't know my numbers. You're not going to invest in somebody that don't know their numbers. So that's one thing.
That's important.
That's important to know your numbers, how much you made last year, and stuff like that. Because, and that's another thing I want to teach within my brand is that people aren't teaching us this. People aren't saying know your numbers.
That's not how our education system is set up. It's set up for you to go to a job.
Exactly. Right. And that's just what I want to teach people like us how to win and show them like, yo, it's possible. Right. Because people are just so stuck to the same stuff, and it's like, I want more than this. Like you in Philly, bro. I want the United States. I want overseas. Right. Like seriously, like, people never left Philly. Like.
Yeah.
So
I've met people like that. It's really,
you never go to
right.
Like
right.
What?
That's like 2 hours.
Exactly.
Right? So could you tell everyone about how to get in contact with you? What's your next event? Let us know.
You can get in contact with me at Wisehustlers, and I'm still working on the pronunciation. They're like, what? Why? I'm still working on it, but at Wisehustlers, and my next event. Fashion Show Friday with the Bull Triz, 5151 Cedar Ave. Okay. Right after that, we're going to Atlanta. Nice. And that's dope as hell. It's my first time going to Atlanta. Okay. First time my parents are coming with me to Atlanta, and I'm going down there for a fashion show. So it's like first time in Atlanta, first time my parents are coming with me, first time they're coming to a fashion show. Nice. And then right after that, when I come back, it's Philly Urban Fashion Week.
Nice.
And then I'm going to be showcasing my brand on my birthday. So we're going to see how that plays out.
Awesome. So let's follow Dontae. At Wisehustlers on IG. Yeah. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you.